So why did I jump out of a moving airplane? Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me on another exciting time with Chilling with Neye. It's your girl, Neye. So, I know it's been like a while, it's been a moment. I'm sorry. Like, I have no excuse, it's just been like a whole bunch of stuff, but I thank you so much for taking out time and joining me again today. So my unit had told me that I had to do this and I was freaking the hell out. Yes, I was so scared. So I started training and trying to get my body in shape for the rigorous exercise I was about to undertake. I ran, I did pull-ups, I did a whole bunch of stuff just to get me ready and to get me in shape. Did it help? I don't know. It's a 3-week program. The 3-week is broken down into 3. The first week is called ground week. That's where basically you do a whole lot of running all through. Like Airborne school is basically running. You run every single place. And you're not just run, like you wake up in the morning, you do PT as usual, you run 3 miles. Yes, 3 miles. You're not allowed to walk. If you're caught walking, you're gonna be in trouble. So you run and run and run everywhere. Now, imagine running under the hot sun with your helmet, which we call the ACH, and your boots on and your full like uniform. It's tiring. Like I don't know, it does something to your body. You're giving classes about the whole process of jumping out of the airplane. You're taught the importance of the course. You're taught basic things that you should know. Your basic parts of the parachute, basic parts of the rigging process, what you need to put on. That's basic. Ground week is just, ground week. The second week is tower week. Tower week is when you get to jump out of the 34-foot tower. So you're put in, it's basically like a simulation of what jumping out of the airplane is going to be, just to give you like a little bit of an idea. I was scared. Like the very first day we had to like climb all the way to the tower, and then you're rigged up in the harness and you have to like put everything on, and I think you need to go watch a video. You get bruised up. You get bruised up in your groin area. You get bruised up around your neck. You get, some people actually had their ears cut. I'm not trying to scare you, but it's just to get you mentally ready for the process is what I'm trying to do. And don't forget, you're still running. You're still running every single where you go. Like, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I'm not gonna come and tell you that, hey, I'm this strong girl and this, no, that's not who I am. But I'm just not a quitter. Yeah, I'm not a quitter. But that very day after training, I really got in my feelings. I was like hurting from every part of my body. Like I thought my arms were gonna like pluck out of my shoulders. I was in pain. So I just went to my locker, and I just had to like, drop some tears to help me like feel better. And I obviously didn't want anyone to see me cry, because who do you want to cry to? Like everyone is in pain, everyone is like going through their own series of emotions, and you don't want to be like that person who's trying to like get the attention of other people, So I had to like get in there in that corner, that little space of mind, and I was like, God, like this is too much for me to bear. The swing, I was asked to jump off of it because it's a simulation of how you fall. Like you're supposed to fall correctly. It's called PLF. So you're supposed to fall with your knees and your feet together. That would help you falling on your main point, your 5 points of contact, which is the balls of your feet, your calf, your thigh, and your buttocks, and your pull-up muscle. That's the aim. In order for you to prevent like injuring yourself or something, that's the way you should fall. So you're supposed to fall in a certain way, and you have to keep falling. Like we fall, you have to fall until you get it right. I promise you. I kind of like fell maybe more than like 20 times because I was trying to get it right. So my whole body was hurting, and at this point, like I was told to climb up again and get on the swing and fall. I stood there and I literally, like, it was at the tip of my tongue. I almost said it, but I looked at my instructor, the cadre, the black hat, and I was like, if he hasn't quit on me, why should I quit on myself? Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it until you can't stand up anymore. But I won't like open my mouth and say I quit. So I summoned up courage, and I did it until I got it right. The third week, which is called jump week. Now jump week is when you actually jump out of the airplane. You're expected to jump 5 times from a moving airplane, and you run another 1.5 miles to the drop zone. If you miss like an hour or 2 of training, that makes you an automatic recycle. So meaning that you have to like retrain again. No, nobody wants that. Run down to the harness shed early in the morning, get there. You have to, like, once you get rigged up, you sit down there. Now you're carrying, in front of you, you're carrying a parachute that weighs about 34 or 5 pounds. That's your main parachute that you have on your back, super heavy. And then in front of you, you have your reserve parachute, which is about another 14 pounds. And now on top of this, you're tightly rigged up, like you can barely, you're struggling to breathe. Like you can't stand up straight because of the weight on you, and then the discomfort. And you have to, I can't even like explain the whole process, but I'm just trying to like give you a summary. And you have to sit down there in the harness shed for waiting for the airplane to be ready, waiting for the weather conditions to be good, because it has to be like a certain condition, a certain weather condition for you to be able to jump out. So you have to wait for all of this process. Now the period of you waiting could take from as little as 6 hours, to as high as 9 hours waiting, all rigged up. And you know what? You're not allowed to use the bathroom. Yes. So throughout those hours of you waiting, you can't stand up because you go through a series of JMPI. You don't like go out there and drop, and you know what that means. So yeah. So once you go through about 5 cadres, that's about 5 people, inspect you. Once you go through those inspections, you're not allowed to touch anything on your body, not even to adjust your helmet, that is your ACH. Once you touch it and they see you, that's an automatic recycle. You're dropped. About 480 when we started. Now when we got to jump week, Monday, day 1 of jump week, we were 420, and by Friday, which was the last day of jump week, we were 335. So for different people were dropped for different reasons. Some were dropped because they were jump refusals. Being a jump refusal is you getting on the airplane and then you're supposed to jump out and you're overcome by fear and you refuse to jump. At that moment, they pull you aside and you would have to go through, well, they pull you aside, and once they verify that all your equipment is good and like you just refuse to jump or fear or something, you would go through disciplinary procedures. You know, that's just another thing altogether. Some people were dropped because they touched their helmet. Some got injured. Like day 1 of the jump, on Monday when we jumped out, some people like had broken legs, you know, their ankles, a whole bunch of stuff. And for medical reasons, they couldn't continue the process, so they have to heal up and then start the program again. I just thank God. Yet I had this 30% scaring me that I might be a jump refuser, that I might get up there to the airplane, look out the ground and say, nah, I'm not doing this. And I didn't want that to happen, because that's like one of the worst things that can happen. I didn't want that. I didn't want to go through that. So I kept on praying for boldness, like the boldness to, I asked God for the boldness, like to give me boldness of a lion to just, poof, they say yeet out, to just yeet out of the airplane. When we eventually like lined up and then got ready for the C-130, because we used a T-11 parachute and we jumped out of a C-130 airplane, Air Force airplane. So when we got into the airplane and as we're loading up to get in, one of the cadres said to me, "Malcolm, you had better jump. You had better jump." And I was like, I'm gonna jump. So I was confident because I was in the middle. Now I felt that, well, I had people in front of me and I had people on my back, so when I see them going, I'll just go along with them without even thinking about it. But then they pulled me to the side and I was like, what's going on? He pulls me to the side and loads everybody up, and then I thought I was at the back. I didn't even realize. So while I was in the plane, I didn't realize that I was the #1 person. I was thinking that I was at the back. So when they pulled the door, opened the door to like when we had gotten to, because you're supposed to jump out of you're supposed to jump out of about 1,250 feet above the ground. Yeah, that's how high it is. yeah, that's the altitude you're supposed to jump from. So when we had gotten that high and I saw that everything was about to like get started, they pulled the door, the airplane door open, and I was like, and so I whispered to the guy beside me, wait, am I the first person? And he says yes. I'm like, no, I don't want to be first. I don't want to be first. And so I told the cadre, I was like, I don't want to go first. I'm not scared, but I just don't want to go first. And honestly, I wasn't scared at that point. I just didn't want to go first. Like, I just wanted to like see other people go and I'll go with them. And he was like, no, you're going first. And this is going to be the best jump of your life. I was like, Jesus, I'm doing this. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I was the #1 person. And then like the last thing you're supposed to, so once you check from the back to the front, so like you check from the last man all the way to the front. So the front person is the one who taps, who high fives the cadre in front and says, already jump master. So I say already jump master, and I said that like with all boldness, already jump master, and he says stand by. So the moment they say stand by in the army means, well not in the army, stand by in Airborne school means like, okay, now you're ready to go. So he says stand by, and so they move me to the door. I'm standing there, so the other cadre has to hold me, like grip me firmly because of the wind. You don't want to just get sucked out until they're ready to go. So he holds me there, and I'm just standing there holding, my arms are holding I'm protecting my reserve parachute, because that's the process. You hold, you protect the ripcord handle of the reserve parachute, and then when you're ready to jump, you hold the ends of your reserve parachute. So I'm standing there protecting the ripcord handle of my reserve parachute, and he's holding on to me, and at that point I'm like, God, you've got this. You've got this, God, you've got this. So all fear was gone from my eyes. All I was ready to do was just jump out. And then he taps me and says, because that's the way it goes. You're supposed to smack your butt and say, go. So he says, green light, go. Smacks my butt. And I just yeet out. Like you're supposed to jump out. And then I just put my leg on and I jumped out. And as soon as I jumped out, okay, so someone asked me a question. Someone said, did you scream when you jumped out? Like, ah! No. So through your training, you're taught like ways to act and ways to react, and possible complications that can happen while you're in the air, a whole bunch of stuff. So now when you're jumping, you're supposed to count from 1 to 6,000, and it's not like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. When you count up to 6,000, if your main parachute hasn't yet opened, then there's a big problem. You have to like pull your reserve parachute, or if there's a malfunction, like if your parachute is all tangled up, there's a way in which you're taught to untangle it right there in the air. Like simple, I won't use the word simple, but like very fast hands-on corrections that you can do while you're in the air before you eventually pull your. But if everything fails, just go ahead and pull your reserve parachute, because it's fast. The T11 parachute is meant to bring you down as fast as possible. So you have just a few seconds in the air. You don't have minutes, you have seconds to get down to the ground. And you're gonna hit fast if you don't do. You're gonna hit fast and hard if you don't do the right thing. And so so I didn't scream. All I did was to like, as soon as you jump out of the airplane, the first thing you start saying is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Before I could even get to 6,000, my parachute had opened. I felt the tug on my shoulders. My parachute was open. It was beautiful. Yes, for that few for those few seconds, it was beautiful. I like taking in the whole area, like seeing everywhere up there, feeling like a bird for like a few seconds. It was a beautiful sight. And then when you start getting to like 100 feet above the ground, at that point, even before, like once you jump out, you should just keep your feet and your knees together. You just want to land on your pull-up muscle. So I landed and I was like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. I did it. I didn't refuse to jump. I'm not a jump refuser. I have no bones broken. Everything is okay. I just have to do this 4 more times. The last day, which was on Friday, just last week Friday. On Friday, I did my last jump out of the airplane, and I was like so grateful. I was like, yay, I'm airborne. I'm no longer a stinky, nasty leg for airborne. Yay! So to succeed in airborne school, first things first, do not give up. You're gonna like, it's gonna be tiring. You're gonna want to like quit, but don't quit. If you can just hold on. Hold on, you're gonna make it. Don't quit. Trust the cadres, trust your instructors, trust your equipment, trust yourself. Yeah, believe in yourself, and then trust God. Trust the big man up there to keep you safe. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it down below in the comment section. And if you've also had a similar training, like you've gone through something like this before, let me know. And yes, skydiving is very, very different from airborne school. I hope you've been encouraged from this video. Whatever it is that you feel you can do, all things are possible. If this girl right here, trust me, I'm no super person. Like, what of the... I'm just so ordinary. If I can succeed and pass airborne school successfully, I bet you whatever it is, whatever challenge it is that you're going through, you got it. You can go through it. Have a wonderful day.